YouTube here, and then we can get this thing done. Apparently it's got a system. All right, there we go. Okay, we're good.
Perfect. I will now call to order the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for September 22nd, 2025. The time is 5:53 p.m. Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Thompson.
Here.
Steiger.
Here.
Samuelson. Forrest. Eaton.
Here.
Hinders. Regenator.
Here. Item number 3 is the approval of tonight's agenda. Any changes to this evening's agenda? Hearing nothing, I would entertain a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda.
Thompson motions.
Steiger second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 4 is the approval of the special meeting minutes for September 12th, 2025. Any changes to those minutes? Hearing nothing, I would entertain a motion and a second to approve the September 12th, 2025 minutes.
Steiger motion.
Thompson second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We don't have any guests that have joined us in person tonight, and I don't believe we have any on the Zoom. So we'll move on to the first substantive item, request from Diligent Warrior Run LLC for approval of the final plat of Warrior Run Estates Plat 4. Luke, would you brief us on this item, please?
Sure thing. So this is the next phase of the Warrior Run Estates development. This is the development of part of the area that was the golf course previously. You can see in your packet the area that's hatched is what is contained within the Warrior Run Estates Plat 4, though looking at the plat, just really the northern portion of that is being developed into single family lots. There are 48 total lots, extension of Shady Lane Drive, a new cul-de-sac, Lincoln Court, and then East 28th Street extending down into the development. The primary, I think, thing that's a little unique with this one is the city did previously have some parkland at the corner of Shady Lane and Warrior Run Drive that was dedicated as part of, I believe, Plat 2 or Plat 3. When we received that parkland, we entered into a parkland agreement because Diligent wasn't sure how development would happen or if the golf course would continue. So there was an agreement that that parkland could be basically transferred back to Diligent at some point to be developed, provided they provide the amount of acres required for it within a future parkland area. So the parkland shown in this includes that acreage that was moved from the previous spot into this, as well as the parkland acres required for the additional 48 lots. So other than that, it meets the standards of our subdivision and zoning. So happy to take any questions.
Luke, can you zoom in? What is it looks like there's an easement that creates that northeast southwest, right on kind of on the back of those lots on the south.
This one here.
Yeah, there's that one, and then there's another one that goes the other way. What is that for?
Yep. So this is a gas main easement that runs off-site. It's not public utility.
Okay.
It's just an existing gas main easement that went through the golf course. There's actually a kind of testing station down here off of Highway 28 for it, or not 28, North Avenue. The other one, the bigger one that runs east-west, is the power line easement for the large overhead lines. Much more substantial of an easement. I believe that one's 50 foot on either side, and the gas main is 25 on either side. So
that's essentially what's causing those lots 14 through 30 to become long and narrow.
yes, yeah, that's why they're so deep, right? And that easement kind of sets a de facto rear setback line. So technically the zoning rear setback isn't that deep, but the easement prevents construction in that area. So that becomes the rear setback in that location.
Does that still give Diligent the ability to build adequate single-family homes in those lots? Are they still wide enough to build single-family homes, or are they gonna be that style, which is basically you see a garage and then on the side of it, a front door, and then everything is straight back from the garage?
I can let Eric talk a little bit more to that, but those are 70-foot wide lots, so they're good sized lots.
Okay.
They just look more narrow because of how long they are. But yeah, they're 70 by about 200 feet deep, and you know you've got it's actually 75 feet of that rear yard is taken up by that easement. So a lot of that, you know, you wouldn't see those lots be that deep if that easement wasn't there. So
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
No, that's fine. If I didn't see a lot, but yeah, if they're 70, 75.
Yeah.
wide, then
Yep.
that's fine. Okay.
Lou, can I throw out a question?
Sure.
Seems like deja vu. Maybe we've gone over this before, but at some point, put that on that park at the outlet X.
LIX, yeah.
I remember having the police doesn't, just how to get in there to patrol for the police. I know they didn't like the fact that it would be buried behind houses.
Yep.
Is that the same one we talked? Is this the same one we talked about?
Yeah, so we had talked about Outlaw X, this type of concept in the bigger picture when, I guess maybe you were part of it, maybe not, or maybe you were just aware of it. At one point, the city was looking at a regional park out here where we would accept the pond and a lot more of the Warrior Run State Development, and the park would kind of loop around, and there'd be like one cul-de-sac that Shady Lane came off of. So the development was very similar to this kind of development here, but this park would have kind of looped all the way around it. And there were some discussions about that. You might have
Might have been something different, but
yeah, you weren't on council, I guess, at that point in time, but when the prelim plat came through, we would have reviewed that as well. It meets our, you know, again, everything's kind of wide out there, so it looks smaller than it maybe is, but it's 40-foot wide width. That's what our code requirement is for street
This is
frontage.
final plat.
Yep.
So I've seen.
Yes, you would have seen the prelim plat.
Yeah, okay, we talked about, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Just seemed like I've seen this before.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
There is on this lot too, let me just zoom in here, just so you guys can kind of get an idea on what we were thinking with this. There's a 20-foot public trail easement on the north side of lot 2. So the idea being that there would be, you know, a walking path at some point that would go through and connect both sides. I don't, you know, there's probably enough width to drop a drive in there if we, well, there is, it's 40-foot wide. We could drop a drive in there if we ever needed to and wanted to put a parking lot back there. But with that size of 3.2 acres, I mean, I guess I'm not the parks director, so, but I would tend to think that it would lend itself more to a neighborhood park that people would walk to. And, you know, we probably want to have a parking lot back there, but there's space if we decided we wanted to.
Go out on a limb, saying maybe it's not something that the police are regularly gonna wanna go back there and check out.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
guess the people living there will probably call if there's a problem.
I would assume so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a nice area. I wouldn't expect a lot of, you know,
Yeah,
beyond kids being kids type stuff.
Yeah.
So,
It reminds me of that park that's in Lakewood on along the
oh, sure.
walking path.
Yeah.
How it's like tucked in there behind a bunch of houses.
So, and, you know, I think one of Diligent's goals with this was, you know, houses that back up to golf course in the past, they wanted to try to at least preserve them being backed up to some kind of green space.
Sure.
So, you know, that was one of the goals of trying to get that parkland identified in there. So.
Eric, is there anything else you wanted to add?
Nothing from me, no. Unless there's questions for me.
Sure. Anything else from the commission? Hearing nothing, I would entertain a motion and a second to approve the final plat of Warrior Run Estates Plat 4.
Thompson motions.
Steiger second.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Eaton,
Aye.
Thompson,
Aye.
Steiger.
Aye.
Reginator.
Aye. Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
George, any update for us tonight?
Nope. One of these days it might.
I don't think Holly
Going-
joined us.
going well.
Luke, anything for us?
Just a couple zoning things. Council initiated a text rezoning for us to take a look at regulations related to gates and barriers on commercial and multifamily projects. So we had a couple requests for commercial properties to be able to put up a gate at night to prevent property or parking or access to their property. Our code, in the past, we've allowed that pretty much just wherever, but we don't have any, there's no standards in the code for it right now. And as it's kind of become more of a thing that people are looking at doing, especially along Highway 28, we wanted to at least take a look at doing some standards and being more overt about how it looks. So council initiated that on Thursday. I'll be working on that. I don't know if it'll be at your next meeting or your second meeting in October. Council also, they've not initiated it yet, but we had a resident come to the council meeting and request that the city look at rezoning the the houses kind of along Gordon, on the old part of Gordon, the older Main Street, the kind of northwest of the diagonal of Highway 28.
Okay.
There's a neighborhood that's probably built in the 70s to maybe early 80s. A lot of the neighborhoods have garages that sit 3 feet from their property line, and they're getting to the age where people want to do either improvements or replacements of those garages. And our code now says they have to be 5 feet from a property line, and that messes up with some driveway alignments and redoing some things. So we're gonna, I would assume council will likely initiate a rezoning to look at changing that neighborhood to be the similar as the Founders District, which has some different accessory structure setbacks that more match what the neighborhood is. So I expect that to come through. That's probably going to be a relatively big headache for staff because we're going to end up rezoning probably 300 homes. And so we're going to have to notify all of them, and there's going to be confusion. Why is the city doing this? So yeah, we will hopefully work through that without having a room full of people mad at you guys, because it's really a good thing at the end of the day. So before we do some stuff here, we might do some outreach and try and hold a couple public meetings just to get neighbors to come in so we can talk to them before we do the full thing. So that won't be likely a quick process, but something that will be coming up as well. So
I should have said there was something from the council, but Luke can explain it better than I can. And so that he just.
you're all right. I got you.
What's the status of the Norwalk sign, the entry sign?
There was a delay with something and I don't remember what. I can have Holly give us an update and I can email that out to the commission because she's been working on it. So yeah.
Elliot, did you have an update for us?
Nothing substantive at this time, Megan. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Safe travels. Our next meeting will be October 13th, 2025 at 5:45 p.m. I would entertain a motion and a second to adjourn.
Steiger motion.
Thompson seconds.
All in favor, say aye.
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 We're adjourned at 6:06. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining, Howard.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Do you have a picture of what it looks like?
Yeah, there's a picture somewhere out there.